Backstage with Mothership on Solid Rock Radio begins now. Hear the best in new music, artist interviews, stories from the road, and more. You are now backstage, and here's your host, Mothership.
Hey, everybody. My main guest today is Kevin Young of Disciple. And later in the show, we'll have TJ Harris chime in on another call about our main topic today. That happens to be a new single and video. So, Kevin, when I saw you at Murray Hill Theater, you told me that you and TJ had just recorded something, and that it was
I
good.
knew you were a big fan of his, so I knew I wanted to give you the inside scoop.
Well, I'll tell you what, it did not disappoint. You decided to do Resurrecting Reasons with TJ Harris. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we obviously had the original album, Skeleton Psalms, come out, and we wanted to do a deluxe edition. And instead of just, like on Love Letter Kill Shot, the deluxe edition was just 3 new songs. And so we wanted to do something a little bit more than that this time around. Josiah had a lot of ideas. So we had 4 new songs that we completed. But he said, yeah, let's do some fun things. Let's have like a feature, on a song that we already came out. It kind of like is almost like a refresh of the song we've already done. And I was like, oh, okay. Never even thought about that before. I was like, what, like, for instance, what? He's like, oh, just, somebody coming and singing on a song, like, just a different take on it. And I was like, oh, you know what would be good? Resurrecting Reasons has that, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like this bluesy, southern, grunge, 90s ballad. It's like all these adjectives just thrown into one song. Very moody. I was like, who would be perfect for that? TJ Harris. He's just got this incredible voice. He can do all these blues runs, and he can sing all these high notes. I bet he would knock that out of the park. And so it started as just like a good idea. And we didn't really realize just how good of an idea it was going to be until after we heard him sing on it. And when we heard him sing on it, it was like, I thought the song was a good song. And now after he sang on it, it's like, it's something better. It's very, very, very special. It's so good that I was like, guys, we're shooting a music video for this song. Like, that's the impression it made on me.
Wow.
Because I feel like he just turned it into a brand new song. And so we've got a video coming out too.
Nice. Great.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I've listened to both songs, but I listened to them back to back. And then I was like, how did they take a perfect song and elevate it and change the definition of perfect? I was just shocked.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because that was exactly my thoughts as well. I thought it was it's one of my favorite songs we've ever done. And his voice was just made for this type of song. And I think the lyrics really resonated with him too, because after he did it, he like called me a little bit emotional, and he was like, hey man, like, I really appreciate the lyrics of this song. This feels very special. Not just saying it. It was like he was saying it with some emotion. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I could tell that that we were just operating on the same wavelength when it came to this song.
It's coming out March 28th, which it will be out by the time this airs.
Nice.
Oh, and you said the video will be out too.
That's the plan. It's done. I'm pretty sure they'll be out the same day.
The song itself, it means a lot to you. Tell us the story behind it.
Yeah. I went through a really dark period. I think, as Christians, we all struggle with sin on some level. We're never really completely perfect, on this side of heaven, as they say. Mm-hmm. And there's always something that, that is being refined or made better. And I think that kind of attitude of just kind of being okay with that really pervaded me and my mentality and my philosophy. And so I just started to be okay and content with things instead of striving for righteousness and striving for holiness. And you just kind of get complacent, begin to trust in God's love and trust in his grace, which turns from trust into abuse, really. And abusing his love and abusing his grace and really doing whatever you want. And I absolutely fell into that category in a very destructive way. Whenever, things are really bad, it's not like this overnight thing. Like one day I was good and then The next day, something really bad happened. It doesn't work that way. It's always in small increments, and that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely my story anyway. Was just kind of moving the boundaries of my life and keep extending the boundaries of my life of what I felt comfortable with and what I was okay with, and until one day, the consequences of sin. Yes, God forgives you, but the consequences, they eventually catch up to you,
Yeah.
and that definitely is true in my experience. And when it did finally catch up to me, it caught up in a very devastating and destructive way, which was probably one of the best days of my life, because that's when I knew that I needed help, and I knew that I was powerless, and I knew that I was struggling, and I knew I was drowning, and I knew I needed to be rescued, needed to be saved. And so that's exactly what happened. And there's this idea of people who are Christians, that we really, it's easy for us to believe that God loves people that aren't Christians, but whenever we royally blow it as a Christian and really fall and make mistakes, we believe the opposite. We believe that God hates us and that He doesn't want us anymore, and that our lives are over and our ministries are over and we're not worthy of anything good. And all those thoughts are very real, and if you allow those thoughts to flourish, you'll even, consider maybe taking your own life. And I know I did. And so writing a song like this was kind of just the result of um, God not leaving me through this whole process and realizing His faithfulness, and how, the words of this song are like, I'm in hell, but you're still here with me. Um, and you keep resurrecting reasons to keep resurrecting Jesus in me. And it was just like, this was my experience with God, that even through the darkest and hardest and most shameful and embarrassing moments of my life, that He was still right there with open arms,
Amen.
asking, begging for me to allow Him to help me. And so, yeah, sometimes we write songs and there'll be all these different like revisions and versions of the song. We'll kind of make it better. This is one of those songs that, I just sat down on a guitar downstairs, wrote it, made a voice memo of it, and that's how we recorded it. We never changed anything and didn't do
Wow.
anything to it. And that never happens. But it was like literally my heart just like got poured out onto a piece of paper. The song happened because of that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Nothing more perfect than capturing raw emotion.
Yeah. Being in a band and being able to write and trusting that has helped me. Writing songs from personal dark places and kind of going through that, and seeing how people respond to it has really liberated me to be vulnerable, and with that shame and embarrassment, that you don't really want to talk about it. You don't want to tell people about it. But then when you write about it, what you realize is that there's other people that have gone through the same thing. And the song means so much to them because it's kind of becomes personal at that point. It's like their song, and it describes their story. Like my story is actually not all that unique. It is probably a lot of other people's story as well. And just to, it gives them a song that kind of accompanies their experience. And so it's really given me the freedom to, write and not worry about all the things that we worry about. The ego and pride gets in the way. It's like, just write it. Who cares? Who cares what people think,
Be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You had a lot of top tier talent on this. Can you kind of
So
go
much.
through who all was a part of this?
Well, obviously the band members, Josiah playing a huge role, producing the album. Andrew Stanton and Josiah both have guitar solos in the song. Andrew plays the first guitar solo and Josiah plays the second guitar solo. That's something very cool and special that doesn't happen a lot in Disciple songs. I love that. Joey's, our drummer, so he's always doing his thing. Dane Allen is also the background harmonies and vocalists on this. He's the greatest vocalist I know. And so obviously TJ has added his feature and his vocals, which are just perfect. And then a guy named Nick Rad is the guy that mixed the song, and he actually mixed it differently. He mixed the original Resurrecting Reasons, but he went back. This is something I actually haven't told anybody, so this will be exclusive to your show. He actually remixed this new version of Resurrecting Reasons. So it has completely different guitar sounds. It has a completely different snare sound. And so it's very different as far as like the actual tone of the guitars and the distortion of the guitars. If you were to A-B the original to this one is cleaner, much warmer, and that's something that I was wanting to accomplish. And the vocals are even cleaner because TJ's vocals were so clean and mine were so gritty in the original. He just kind of cleaned my vocal up a little bit to match TJ's. That was cool. Yeah.
What about Lester Estelle? He had a little part in here?
Yeah, he records our drums. So Lester's the drummer for Pillar. He's also the drummer for Kelly Clarkson. And he's got his own studio at his house. And we choose to not record our drums anywhere else. So he is the place where we do our drums. Yeah, so talented, so good.
So tell me more about the deluxe edition of Skeleton Psalms coming out April 25th.
Like I said, we wanted it to be different than the Love Letter Kill Shot Deluxe. So it's got one extra new song, so 4 brand new songs. Then we did this feature with TJ for the 5th song. We have a acoustic version of Promise to Live for the 6th one. And then we have an EDM remix of The Executioner. So we have a friend of ours who is a producer for Sean Rodriguez. I featured on one of Sean's songs. He was like, man, I do this EDM thing. I'd love to remix The Executioner. And I'm like, that's not my thing. So I was kind of like, I don't know, he said, well, let me try something. Let me show you what I can do. And we heard it. I was like, oh, wow, that's actually really cool. And I just couldn't believe it. So it was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And then, so those 7 tracks will be on there. And then also we're going to have 6 live tracks from our Skelevision concert, which was our CD release show for Skeleton Psalms. And so we're going to have 3 live songs that were on the Skeleton Psalms album. Then we're also going to have 3 live songs that were not on that album. Oh, God Save Us All will be one of them. Long Live the Rebels will be one of them. And an old Disciple classic, I Just Know, will be one of them. So that'll be really cool for a lot of the old school fans to hear a new version of I Just Know.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that. That'll be a good one for me too. Skeleton Psalms has 3 number 1 singles: Executioner, Promise to Live, and Bad Words. Tell us a little bit about what that's like.
Did you say Bad Words went number 1?
It says on your press release, the album spawned 3 number 1 singles: Executioner, Promise to Live, and Bad Words. Did you not know that?
I did not know that. That's awesome. Okay. Well, yay. I can't wait to tell everybody. Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. Listen, there's some kind of quote from me going around about how I don't care about awards and just want to lay them at Jesus' feet or some kind of whatever, a quote. And I'm like, man, I don't remember saying that. I do care about awards. It feels good to win an award, So yeah, no, I mean, that's cool. I love that. I love when something goes number 1. That's great. Thank you for telling me.
Okay.
And the question was like, how do I feel about that? I mean, yeah, we've been a band for a long time. Okay. So to still be making songs that actually, do well like that, that's real special to us. I mean, we could easily just be playing songs from 20 years ago, and that's all you have, just people just want to hear the songs you wrote 20 years ago. So, and there's nothing wrong with that, because there's a bunch of bands that I will gladly go pay $100 to go watch songs that they wrote 20 years ago or 30 years ago. My favorites are, going to be further than that, but, to still be writing new songs that perform well, I mean, it's not easy. And it says a lot about all these guys that are on this bus with me right now, how talented they are, because it's definitely a team effort. So very thankful.
Speaking of awards, you've also been nominated for Dove Awards. What's that like?
Yeah.
Because the Christian rock genre doesn't always get a seat at the table when it comes to Dove Awards.
No, we don't. No, it's very awesome, honestly. See, we've lost so many Dove Awards. I mean, I think we've been nominated like 17 times and won twice. So we've lost 15 times or whatever the math is. But that feeling of like, okay, here comes our category, and they're reading off the names. Oh my gosh, it is insane. Your heart starts beating so fast. And I don't know if I'm getting ahead of your questions, because we just got nominated for a Grammy.
That's where we're headed. Keep going.
Yeah. So we went to the Grammys. And so all of us are sitting there at the Grammys and they're reading off our category. And then they're reading off and, oh my gosh, our hearts are beating out of our chests and there's so much adrenaline, whatever. And then of course somebody else wins. And then I looked over and I looked over at the guys and I said, that feeling is still awesome though, isn't it? I was like, oh my gosh, just all that adrenaline and dopamine just dumping throughout your body, just going crazy. And it's like your eyes are just wide for like the next 30 minutes because of that dopamine hit you just took, from somebody just reading off your name and you might win. So all that's so much fun. It really is, and winning a couple of Dove Awards is also fun. We're very thankful for all the nominations and the couple times we won things, it's really nice. It really is. I'm not going to lie.
It's just a confirmation that you're where you're supposed to be and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone in bands, and we're no exception. This is my opinion. It is just that. It's just my opinion. I think everyone in a band at some point is just cripplingly insecure. And the reason why we're so insecure is that our whole business model is based on people liking us. And so as we're trying to grow, it's like you're trying to get people to like you. If people don't like you, then you can't, pay the bills or, whatever. And so it's really exhausting and draining. And there comes a point where you have to throw your hands up in the air and just be like, I can't please everybody. I can't make everybody happy. And I have to just do this because I love it and I believe in it. And this is what I'm put here on earth to do. And that just needs to be enough for me as I go to sleep tonight, But that being said, yes, it does feel good when someone says, hey, good job, and hands you this trophy or whatever, because that insecurity it's real. It's a struggle, man. I mean, so I think every artist that's listening to this right now will be like, yep, because I mean, that's the whole thing, the whole get on social media. Why? Because you're trying to get people to discover your band. You're playing shows. Why? Because you're trying to get the record label to find you, whatever. It's like constantly just like trying to improve and grow and all this stuff. And it's draining. It's exhausting. And I think that's the beauty of what's kept us going is like, that has not been the motivation behind why we do what we do. The motivation is that hopefully God will bring somebody into that room that night when we play, we present the gospel to them, that they will be encouraged and like find this life-changing moment. And that's the trophy that we're chasing. That's the one that is eternal and has value beyond anything I could ever hang on my wall or put on my shelf.
Amen. Well said. I want to talk a little bit about honor and glory. Honor and glory isn't Disciple, but there is no honor and glory without Disciple. There may be one or two people left in the world that doesn't know why there's a difference between Disciple and honor and glory and what the difference is. Could you just go over that real quick?
Sure. So Honor and Glory is our worship band. If someone's like, why did you start a worship band? And it's all the same guys. Why didn't you just do it under the name Disciple? Well, our record label really wishes that we would have done it under the name Disciple because there's already like this fan base, built in. But we really wanted to protect what Disciple is. And we didn't want to mess with that. It's this hard rock, Christian rock band that we're going to put out songs like that. We really didn't want to put out something that was so left field from that it didn't feel like Disciple, even though it is Honor and Glory is us. And also, we'd seen a lot of our friends do worship albums and I don't know their story. This is my outside looking in, perspective of how things went down. But bands like Third Day or bands like Cutlass or Petra, who were rock bands and then did a worship album. And from the outside looking in, it seemed like there would be pressure to do that again because their worship albums were very, very successful. And then after that, the rock albums didn't really happen. And so from the outside looking in, it's like that worship album kind of made the rock albums like go away. You know what I mean? Like the rock albums, just like maybe they put out one or two more and then that was it. Man, we're done. They all went home. And so it's like, for me, am I glad Petra put out a worship album? Yes. If they hadn't put it out, would they be still putting out rock albums? I don't know, maybe. And boy, would that be awesome? Yeah. So that was kind of our mentality that we went into it with, is we just didn't want to mess with the brand Disciple. And but Honor Glory is very special. We love it. It's so different. We don't perform. We don't entertain. We just worship. Just go in there and play our songs. No jumping around. No pyro. No crazy lights. No, none of that. It's literally just us worshiping God the way that we like to do it, and hopefully people show up and worship with us. And so it's a very, very awesome, cool, special thing that we love to do.
You talked about being nominated for a Grammy. It was Honor and Glory that was nominated for the song Firm Foundation, He Won't. And that is such a special song.
Yes.
Love to hear y'all sing that. Tell us a little bit about the choice of that song, and were you surprised that was the one that was nominated?
Yeah, completely surprised, because we put an album out, and it had been a year or two since, any new Honor and Glory music came out. And so I just said, let's do an Honor and Glory song. Instead of doing an album, let's just do a song. And their guys were like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's just do a song. And so we talked to the record label and was like, hey, what song do you think we should do? And our A&R guy was like, I like the song Firm Foundation. I was like, I like that too. But I think that if we did it, there'd be a whole bunch of changes that we would do. And he's like, well, yeah, we'll go do them. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's go do it. So we did it. It didn't release to radio. We just recorded it, put it out. That was it. That's all we did. So, of course, I'm like sitting in my bunk, and they're like, hey, this got nominated for a Grammy. I'm like, what? How? It didn't even get on a radio station. What are you talking about? How did it go? How did it bypass the radio stations completely to a Grammy nomination? So, I mean, to say that I was shocked was putting it mildly. But the guys that wrote that song, Cody Carnes and Chandler Moore and Austin somebody, I can't remember all their names. But wow, what a great job they did. What a powerful song. I mean, just really knocked that one out of the park. And then we took it, put our own spin on it. So we're, it's a very special song. We're very thankful for that one.
Really good. You have a tour coming up with Surprise, Surprise, Decyfer Down.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about the Decyfer Down and Disciple tour coming up in April, I think.
All I can tell you is we played some shows together last year, and they were some of my favorite shows all year long. And so I'm expecting these to be my favorite shows again. And except this time, I'm going to be singing a song with TJ. So in my set, yeah, I never done that before. So totally pumped, totally stoked.
This tour is on the East Coast, correct?
Yeah, this is the East Coast as far as I know. Got to keep those boys close to home.
Yeah, that's true. Before we go, Kevin, any last minute stories you want to share?
This whole week has been insane. Our cars are all parked at a bus lot where we leave our bus, and our cars are parked there, and that parking lot flooded. And so all of our cars got totaled, all of them. So the whole band, every single one of our cars were destroyed. And then we had a trailer tire blow. A couple of days later, another trailer tire blew on the other side. And then a couple of days later, we were pulling into the venue, and a wheel literally came off the bus as we were turning. We were going up and down mountains. Thank God it didn't happen then. And then we turned in, and we're at the venue, and the wheel comes off the bus. So we literally, all the phrases, the wheels on the bus go round and round, and we drove it until the wheels came off. So all those phrases, and you can even say that it's kind of getting quite tiring. Hello. So, yeah, that's crazy. And still, man, if you were on this bus right now, you would not know any of that. And I love that. There's just such joy on this bus, and through all of that stuff, we're all very thankful to be doing what we're doing, very thankful to be in this band with each other. And, it's kind of awesome. I think even Joey was back here. He's like, man, God's got it. It's all good. I'm not worried about it one bit. That's just like a massive, amazing, awesome thing for him to say. And so, yeah, there you go. That's what's going on with us right now, is just all kinds of craziness. And we're out here playing, and people are receiving Jesus. And I mean, I don't like to say what kind of numbers people are receiving Jesus, because it's kind of like taking credit for it. So I'm not going to say it, but I will just say really awesome things are happening, man. And I'm really, really thankful.
Oh, that's great. Not that your cars got destroyed, but that things are happening. And your PayPal is what?
Yeah, well, you can go to disciplerocks.com, and it says, I think there's a donate or give link, and that's where it is.
We need some new cars
help us
and
out.
some tires.
I'll be driving my daughter's car when I get home. So, because I don't have one anymore. So, yeah.
I am so sorry. Thank you so much. Tell everybody, hey, give them a hug, and tell them I feel bad about their cars.
All right, I will. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Okay, well, good night.
Thank you. Bye.
After this interview with Kevin, I decided I needed to call TJ Harris and find out about his side of the story. So, hi, TJ.
Hey.
I just did an interview with Kevin.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? It'd be kind of nice is to get TJ's point of view because he talks so highly of you.
Of me?
How about your contribution to the song? Tell me about when you got the call from Kevin about doing Resurrecting Reasons.
It's almost been a year ago now when we first started talking about it. They sent over a song, and it was Resurrecting Reasons. It was the original version. And I think actually Josie hit me up first, and then they sent me over a song, and I listened to it, and I'd heard it, but I hadn't heard it like really focusing in on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard it, really just listened to it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, absolutely. You know, I said I would love to do this.
Couldn't wait to get hold of it.
I was a little nervous because I kind of hadn't been doing much. We've just been working on this house and doing this and doing that. And so I just hadn't been doing a whole lot. But I was in the middle of starting to revamp my studio and finish it out because it's never really been finished. And I put all that on hold. And I mean, there was just a mess everywhere. And I just pushed it all to the side, got my computer back up and running. And
did you know what you wanted to do with it as soon as you heard it?
No, I didn't. At first, I was just, there was more nervousness about doing it than, what am I going to do kind of thing, but I didn't think about it. Like when they asked, like I didn't even think about it. I said yes, and I got nervous later. But happy to be part of it. I love the song. Absolutely love the song. Before I ever sang on it, I loved it when I heard it.
You started learning the music and learning the lyrics. How did it affect you personally?
Well, I'm going to be honest. The first time I tried to sing the song, I started crying. The song just, it hits hard and deep. I mean, it just, God's faithfulness to us is just, it's crazy. Like, no matter what I do, no matter what I